Hey, all my late 90s new metal-loving boomer shooter enthusiasts. Want to talk about a game that will get you personally crucified on Reddit for merely suggesting a third-person shooter could be a boomer shooter? Well, do I have that game for you. It's called Max Payne 3, which is probably one of my all-time favorite top 10 games of all time. Sure, it's not better than Resident Evil 4, F-Zero GX, Cuphead, Mega Man 4, or even Metal Gear Solid 2, but it's up there for me. Enough so for me to sacrifice my good karma and top 1% contributor status on the subreddit Boomer Shooters page at least. And before you go into this video thinking I'll be breaking down this game's story and how drastically it changed its tone and setting from the first two games, well, that's not what I'm doing here because the story is fine, but not really as important as the gameplay to me, and yes, the same can be said for Max Payne 1 and 2. Now sure, Max Payne, the original released in 2001, showed a story structure based around classic film noir, which wasn't exactly done as well as this game, but it wasn't the first. Just really the one that did it in the most enjoyable, non-text-based kind of way. Let's just pretend story never existed in video games, I guess, prior to 2001, which I'm going to do for this breakdown of the gameplay for Max Payne 3. So, come on in and join me in for some rage and euphoria. Something rotten in the air, the opening level or chapter of Max Payne 3 gives the player so much information in terms of feedback and understanding without barely lifting a finger other than to tell you the left mouse button to shoot or the R trigger. Within a few seconds, not only does the player understand the feel of the game, but for a series that hadn't had a game in 8.5 years, to reintroduce them to the universe, even if it's a universe some didn't really care for at the time. Me personally, you could put Max Payne in any illogical situation, like a spaceship or Middle Earth, and if the trade-off is gameplay, that not only builds off what Remedy gave us with Max Payne 1 and 2, but completely outclasses it immediately. I think this first shootout at the Bronco Family Hotel let all of us gamers know that whatever the problems some had with how Max's story was being continued at the least, could never complain about the gameplay and the feel of the combat. Now this is also a good time to reinforce the idea that in this video game, if you're coming for a complex breakdown of the story of Max Payne 3, well, my name is BoomShoot Ken, so don't know why you expected that. I'll say this every time till I'm blue in the face, but I will always value epic and engaging gameplay over an amazing story any day of the week, says the guy whose favorite franchise is the Metal Gear Solid series.
What are you... What the...
You're a man?
Caught a nice nap on this revolving bed of yours. Too bad I was sleeping alone.
On a tree frog.
But if I have to sacrifice one for the other, I'll always choose gameplay over a compelling story. Go play Disco Elysium if you choose story. Me, I just like a good shooting time, and that's what I'm here to focus on. This game's unrivaled, unmatched, and sadly never copied or duplicated gunplay. Also, some more full disclosure, but I generally hate third-person shooters. The aiming never feels satisfying, much less rewarding, with the exception of a few games. If I'm playing a third-person shooter, I usually prefer it in the style of Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, where you have more of a fixed camera perspective, but the feedback always seemed more rewarding to me. Not with Max Payne 3, and in fact to prove this, let's rewind back this one sequence I've been showing over and over again now and break down the sheer brilliance and dedication and cost from Rockstar to make one of the most satisfying gunplay experiences we, the public, will never see again. In your first shootout, it becomes almost too easy to notice why Max Payne 3 costed an estimated $80 to $100 million budget. In fact, the game sits on Wiki as the 5th highest budgeted game, and one could ask if this budget ballooned due to the cost of cutscenes, because cutscenes aren't cheap to make, kids. Why do you think World of Warcraft and Diablo, including their expansions, only gives you 1 to 2 cutscenes for each release? No, I think the cost came from the Rage engine. No, not that Rage, which used id Tech 5 for that fancy mega texture technology that no one ever used outside of John Carmack and id. The Rage engine, built specifically for Max Payne 3, is what was used for core physics and environmental destruction. We'll talk about the destruction more later. The real star of the show is the Euphoria engine, an engine made for Max Payne 3 in tandem with the Rage engine that was specifically made to give realistic character feedback and reactions, making the damage they took more in line with the real world. And if you're thinking because the cost of this game and it not meeting sales expectations, which has been proven false since, know that John Carmack's fancy engine demo for Rage was just that, a tech demo that no one would ever use outside of that game again. while Rockstar took the Rage and Euphoria engine and implemented it into GTA 5 and modified it for Red Dead Redemption 2. But let's get back to the shooty shoots. Now let's break this down. After shooting in the head this masked individual, but because I hit complete brain mass, the legs give out and all auto bodily functions give way with it. The darkness realm for him. And as I go for his friend to the right, I shoot him in the right arm and 3 times in the sternum in this game's version of stun locking an enemy. So I can bring my attention to the masked thug in the middle. I shoot his right hand, which just happens to be the hand he uses a gun for, as the character not only reacts to this, but it buys me time to shoot him directly in his mouth hole. And unlike the first victim who lost all auto bodily functions, this asshole feels it, as acceptance of death slowly in between excruciating pain battle with one another. Back to the asshole on the left, who finally has his bearings, so I shoot his upper left shoulder before tapping his skull. All this whole sequence was just 9 seconds. Another thing you learn right away is the cover system. It's wonderful and easy to use. Is it Gears of War? No. But it's also not boring. I take out this masked fellow and make it to my next enemy, and I test out the blind fire, and it's wonderful. One of the many wonderful things about this game, whether on keyboard or mouse, is Max Payne 3 controls in and out of every situation perfectly. It's a refinement of the series that gave third-person shooters legs to begin with. I make my way to this lush patio and enjoy one of the many to come scripted moments that are just complete chef's kiss, 10 out of 10 set-piece slowdown moments. It's also probably a good time to bring up that I'm playing for this footage the score attack mode, mostly because it gives me less cutscenes with a good amount of them you can skip. Again, it's about the gameplay, folks. We leave an elevator as I shoot down another masked thug and make a bad situation worse for a good guy NPC. Is it fucked up? Yeah. Do I appreciate the fact I even have the option to be a psychopath? More on that later. In cover, I blind fire around into this masked guy's nuts and look at the reaction he has, screaming in pain. You feel the nut shot, and whether it's adrenaline he got from the loss of nuts from the bullet I shot at them, I finish the job because I believe in mercy.
Boom, boom. 3 in the head, you know they're dead. It's a good motto.
Next guy behind the pillar, I shoot out both of his knees and spot a new masked individual where I nutted the last one, who I execute with a gut to 2 unnecessary headshots. I wanted to double tap Leg Boy, and holy shit, he's alive, and you get to try the up-close death animations. If you're any good at this game, you won't see them much.
I had to keep moving. I didn't want to fuck this up more than I already had.
I get to try this game's first heavy weapon, this game's pump shotgun, out on a masked thug who barges through the double doors. Now I get to use his rifle. I make my way to the garage, which is one of the multi-floor variety ones, and I don't know why, but I always enjoy garage sequences in video games. Hell, those are the only missions I ever enjoyed in Watch Dogs. Oh, and you can still do a slow motion leap, which unlike Max Payne without heavily modding it on Steam, actually works. Great job, Rockstar. I love playing Max Payne with no cutscene sound or music and the slow motion leaping being broken. It's not like you guys haven't had 20 years to optimize this game for current gen's expectations. Back to my first skirmish in the garage, as I use slow-mo to shoot a kneecap, then a headshot. Next up, I blind fire some rounds at this dude, making me feel like Antoine Chigurh at the motel. I nutshot another masked goon before enjoying a slow-motion headshot. Another great thing this game does is after every skirmish when the room is cleared, the last enemy gets a lovely kill cam. It's rewarding, and especially in harder sequences after completing that last kill has you feeling like a god. I go up a floor to seeing heavily armed thugs firing at the country's police, so I take out 2 thugs out to the left with enough time to shoot one of the police because
it's funny.
This next thug tries to get better cover on me, but I shoot him down and give him a free colonoscopy. I shoot out the tire of the van currently kidnapping my boss and have a shootout with the remaining captors. It's also the first time I have to use a painkiller. In Max Payne 3, if you have painkillers and are shot with what would kill you in the other games, gives you a slow-motion last chance to shoot the thug who last shot you, and while you can shoot anyone else in your line of vision during this sequence. If you don't shoot the one who shot you last, you will die. Another brilliant addition to the series. I domed the last 2 remaining goons with headshots, one a little excessively. And free my boss from the van, but because he has a bag on his head, he knocks me to the ground in a moment of panic, activating a lovely sequence where from the ground I protect my boss by brain mattering these last 2 goons. And with that ends a perfect reintroduction to the series. Level 2, nothing but the second best, starts off with Max at a bar, grabbing a goon and throwing each other through a plane of glass while falling, shooting these masked terrorists in this nightclub. Also, get used to me comparing Max Payne in this game to Darby Allin of AEW. Still not sure who has taken more bumps in their respective careers at this point. I kill 2 innocent NPCs because I'm not having them call my boss to give me a bad Yelp review for drinking on the job. He knows who he hired. We make our way through the dance floor bar area where I dome a couple of masked goons before seeing these terrorists manage to kill Brazil's most famous soccer player, Claudio. Also decided he didn't deserve an open casket funeral, and the fact it carries over to the in-game cinematic makes a weirdo like me so happy. Oh, and still no witnesses. My Yelp score is already barely over 3 stars. Another shootout in the dining area where I collect all the points from headshots humanly possible. I make my way through the hall and shoot a bartender before the masked terrorist could, most likely confusing him and buying me time to introduce a bullet to his brain. I shoot the terrorist DJ and load some dualsy Uzis on the remaining terrorist in this room, and look at that, I missed some of the hostages. I take the kitchen chef terrorists off guard with a surprise food and safety inspection audit, but with bullets. Then I make my way to this nightclub's lovely Asian fusion restaurant. I think one of the things that makes this game never get too tedious with the fact all you do is literally shoot people is that each section of the level is so expressive and gives that lived-in kind of feeling that it's easy to get swept away in the chaos more organically. I head to the roof for a cutscene I can't skip, sadly, as Jared Leto gives me a hand into his personal private helicopter.
Don't worry about me, homie. I'm just a guy paying you lots of money to protect me. Yeah, what were you drinking?
Bet your ass I was.
Here we get another great set piece using this game's heavy bolt-action rifle and...
Now I had the time of my life. No one ever felt like this before. Yes, I swear it's the truth. And now I've been waiting for so long. Now I've finally found someone to stand by me.
We saw the writing on the wall, and we felt this magical fantasy.
Now with passion in our eyes, there's no way we could disguise it secretly. So we take each other's hand, 'cause we seem to understand the urgency. Just remember,
You're the one thing,
I can't get enough of.
so I tell you something.
This could be love, because I had the time of my life.
No, I never felt this way before.
Yes, I swear it's the truth.
After having the time of my life shooting goons with the bolt action, I'm dropped off the helipad as I take out the remaining goons I didn't finish off with the bolt action prior. Which is kinda cool after the set piece to know that I can actually walk around all these environments and shoot the remaining enemies. Thus ending another fucking awesome level. Just another day, the third chapter starts with Max revealing a massive wound on his left arm that's been wrapped up. How did that happen? Again, I'm doing score attack and skipping cutscenes, but I won't pretend like I don't have 76 hours played on Steam alone, but Max got shot by a sniper. There, you happy? We begin with a shootout in the practice area of Brazil's Sao Paulo's Galatian soccer team. Cool. Now clean up this mess before the team comes back from Argentina. We follow Raul Paso to an elevator and take it up a floor where Raul has found a hostage who was most likely getting tortured by the cartel for information. Boring. So I shoot him in the head as masked goons flood the Sao Paulo Galatians media relations room. They all die horribly. I make it to this hallway for probably my best kill cam yet, with the shotgun. We make our way upstairs to the sports memorabilia store and are confronted by a private army militia group, which is good because they have the rich white people guns. After getting a Blackwater assault rifle, I'm informed by Raul that these private army guys are highly financed, that we deal with the main theme of this level, and that's avoiding the sniper who shot my arm in the first place. Just avoid his sight. We make it to this concession area of the stadium for a tougher than usual gunfight, again because we're not facing the poor and disenfranchised with their stock AKs and secondhand Uzis. No, we're up against the private army elites of Brazil. We make our way to the camera production office to take out one of the two pesky snipers. Max makes his way to the stands as Raul provides me with cover fire with the sniper rifle from the sniper I just killed. Look, Raul, you better have my back, cause I would hate for anything bad to ever happen to you. After fighting it out with this militia from multiple stories, this part is so fucking awesome. I make it to the stairs that leads me to the history exhibit of the stadium. Again, this is one of my all-time favorite levels from the scale of the level itself. If anything deserved that hard-boiled John Woo comp, it's moments like this. They made a memorial for Claudio. Rest in peace, our fallen angel of the soccer gods. After mourning Claudio, I'm rudely interrupted by another mercenary. Show some fucking class, man. I make my way to the maintenance elevator that leads me to another skirmish with Blackwater military mercenaries in the stands of the stadium while Raul provides me sniper cover. Don't forget, Raul, I'm watching you. I make my way through the utility and lighting section, killing another sniper. From their location, we get to use the sniper rifle, as this time I get to cover Raul. For a on-rails with no rails sniper sequence, it's a nice change of pace, and the kill cam shots are definitely worth it. You essentially clear the troops for Raul to make it to the next stop, and clear the next group to follow. Eventually, Raul makes it to the stairs. We next get a really long cutscene you can't skip. Awesome. This leads to you separating from Raul, and it's your job to take out the last of the three snipers. After clearing the sniper's goons on the rafters, I kill the ones guarding the ladder that leads me to the scaffolds, where I get to take out the sniper in the most ridiculously coolest way imaginable.
I see you! You're right on top of him! Jump the railing!
This is a bad idea.
Anyone Can Buy Me a Drink is one of my favorite levels. At this point, what level in this game isn't one of my favorites? It's not because of anything it changes up in terms of gameplay, no, just for the simple fact I get to shoot all of New Jersey's finest Italian heritage mobsters. It starts with Tony DeMarco, the son of the Don of the DeMarco family. Not sure what the misunderstanding is over since I skipped the cutscene and I'm still pretending I haven't played this game for 76 hours prior that tasked me with pulling the trigger on poor Tony and the rest of the DeMarcos. And that family graveyard is going to be packed with DeMarcos. Some I'm pretty sure aren't even related to the DeMarco family. Might as well just make a landfill for these DeMarcos. This is probably the shortest level of the game, as it only took me 5 minutes to complete, but oh, the sights you'll see. Like the famous Anyone Can Buy Me a Drink bar, where we shoot to death all the DeMarcos we could. The Basement Bar, which is a nice dive location for local indie New York bands and indiscriminate Guido annihilation. The lovely parking lot of the bar always looks beautiful in the snowy cold air. We finish the sights and sounds of New York, New Jersey in this gorgeous alleyway. A short but great time can always be had at the Anyone Can Buy Me a Drink lounge. We start part 2 of Anyone Can Buy Me a Drink in Max's apartment, as Max is surrounded by snipers on the opposing rooftop. I grab my spare painkillers, and it's off to cover fire with a little slow motion sprinkled on top. If you're not relying on both mechanics during this part, you're gonna die. A lot. I'd show you footage of that, but again, 76 hours in, just so you know. After eliminating the snipers, I make my way down the hallway and meet my neighbor Brewer. Is what I would be saying if I didn't skip the cutscene and wasn't still going kayfabe for pretending I haven't played this game for 76 hours prior, but based on his complex and how he keeps up the place.
The apartment made me wish I'd got to know him better.
The joys of hygiene!
He seems like a chill dude. I go to the roof to have a shootout with some maid guys. They all die, mostly, via headshot or explosion. The first epic sequence of this chapter comes in the way of riding down a loose water silo as you shoot 6 mobsters, and if you miss any of them, you die. After taking out these wise guys, I head over to a crack house with Raoul to be greeted by, oddly enough, more well-dressed and well-fitted Goombas. I guess this must be a very high-end crack house, but a crack house nonetheless, so I take them out Nancy Reagan style, along with the good fellas on the second floor, and head to the roof of a garage for another cutscene I sadly can't skip. We break into the garage, which is a Cosa Nostra tax front, so I take out these schmucks systematically. We make our way to a park behind a bunch of apartment complexes for another Donnybrook with headshots, explosions, and some gruesome slow motion kills to end what is probably my favorite level of Max Payne 3. Alive If Not Well is not one of my favorite levels, until it is one of my favorite levels, but it starts by trying to do its first of 2 stealth attempts in the game that I completely ignore, and you should too. I guess it's nice it's there. Heck, it doesn't really work that well, as when I try to shoot the tire to silently crush these lowlifes with their own car, it still alerts the locals regardless. That's fine, back to indiscriminate annihilation. I make my way to this produce factory and shoot the employees there, mostly in the head, and do one of my cooler slow motion kills. I make my way out of the factory into a shipping container yard, and this is a great section because it feels tight, as in every corner counts, but still on alert for the Teamsters on the high ground. Explosions and death ensue. Max makes his way to this boat repair building, and after your first shot, you get the second Darby Allin bump of the game. Bro is literally taking a flat shoulder to back bump on concrete from 15 to 20 feet in the air. Thank God Max hasn't quit painkillers yet. Dude is gonna end up like Dynamite Kid by the time he gets back to the USA. I clear out the remaining thugs and make my way to the second factory, and it's a good time to bring up again just how important the environment design is because yes, you really only shoot bad guys as the core sole mechanic of this game, but if it wasn't for the level of detail not only in character animation but just the visual clarity itself in each level, I think helps in killing any tedium the player may feel. Plus it just feels so good. I make my way to the docks for an awesome amount of shootouts. They launch flares in the air to let everyone know of your presence, while thugs are driving boats around you that you have to deal with on top of the boots on the ground. Brownie points for being able to shoot the driver so you don't have to worry about the rest of the crew on the boat. We kill Brazil's economy as part 1 of this level ends. Part 2 of Alive If Not Exactly Well starts on a boat, and stays on that boat, in this game's sole level and score attack dedicated to just being a on-rail sequence. Maybe I sound annoyed by this, but this fucking level puts most Universal Studios FX and special effects live shows to shame. We have a Gatling gun, and get to unload on some more pirates. After that, we bring our attention to the steamboat who has Fabiana hostage. Who is Fabiana, you might be asking yourself, playing the score attack mode only? No fucking idea. As you shoot down Molotovs, and hopefully pirates and not civilians. I'm just saying, if some random white dude with a Gatling gun on a boat going down the canal of your neighborhood, I think I might go grab some of the neighborhood watch's local munitions too. Grab me an AK and shoot this crazy gringo down. Assuming they're Brazilian pirate gangsters, I need to watch more Fox News, I'm running out of terms. You shoot everyone in your sights that hopefully has a weapon. One of the residents throws a grenade at your boat, and luckily it just stalls out. Sadly, this cutscene stalls as well. After the cutscene, you go back to doing the same thing you did before, indiscriminately shooting residential pirates in their homes as shit just starts blowing up.
Anytime now! Keep... Just draw! You're gonna die in the swamp! We need some more time!
After some lovely set-piece explosions that would get Michael Bay to chafe, we shoot down a collection of jeeps driving on the side of the road, and much like the boat drivers of the last level, and this one, you can save some bullets by simply shooting the driver. After finishing the jeeps, we shoot some more boats before making our way under this wooden bridge as we try to save Fabiana. This sets up this chapter's final set-piece, which puts you in a slow-motion moment as Raoul rides the boat off a ramp so we can have higher elevation to shoot Fabiana's captors. But be careful with your shot. Even funnier is, even with playing this game for 76 hours prior, I ended up dying during this sequence for the first time. Not unlike the silo shootout that if you miss a certain target, you get killed. Here, I'm not sure who I missed, but it's always fun to see something like this that I had never seen prior. I shoot the correct amount of Brazilian pirates, as Alive If Not Exactly Well, Part 2 is finished. Great set-piece diversion of a level.